All right, we're back. We are back. The mouse and the goof have returned from our sabbatical.
Our slight
Oh,
hiatus.
yes, our unplanned break. Man, it's
Well,
been so long.
I don't know if unplanned. I think it was planned in my head. I was like, Ashley's about to have children. It's almost Christmas. We're all about to be busy. Just I wasn't sure how long it would last.
And every time I'd reschedule, just felt terrible.
This is
But
supposed to be fun. You're not
it
supposed
is,
to feel bad about it.
yeah, it is fun. And we had a lot going on. So a lot has happened, but we are back. We're looking a little older. The background has changed. Don't mind the mess. But I'm now a mama three. And yeah, so I'm here and that is a win.
Yep. Yeah, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, so we are here for another episode, and our returning episode is a special one because we have only done Disney movies up to this point, and that was kind of our intention originally. But after we recorded the last episode, we kind of wanted to mix it up. So we threw it to our friends and our viewers, but our friends on social media to tell us which non-Disney movie to talk about. So, what
Yeah.
were our options? Let me pull this up. I think we both put different options, but
Okay.
pulled out Chicken Run, Joseph, um, El Dorado, and Spirit. Those were all. We looked at a list of movies from the 2000s.
Yeah. Didn't I throw Titan AE in there?
I feel like you did a different four.
Yeah.
You had El Dorado in yours as well. We picked our four favorite
Yeah.
on Disney animated movies from the 2000s. Um, and El Dorado, The Road to El Dorado is what came out on top.
Yep.
So
Not super surprising knowing
yeah,
my friends and
yeah, yeah. I didn't know what to expect with mine, honestly, and it was pretty close. I think what came in second was Spirit, which I still really want to go back and watch because I loved that movie as a
Yep.
kid. They remade that recently. Or I don't know if remade it.
They made a kids TV like series. Like
I thought
like
you were gonna say a kids movie, and I'm like, the first one was a kids movie.
kids don't know. No, yeah, no, they made a Netflix series
Oh, is that what it
years
was?
ago.
Not that long ago. It was like, oh, well, maybe that was 5 years ago now.
It was at least 5 years,
Oh my gosh,
maybe
it's
4.
2025.
It yeah. It's
All I know is
got
they used a Taylor Swift song in the trailer.
oof. We have friends that had little girls that watched that show, but they had
Hmm.
never seen the movie. And I was
Oh.
like,
Did you educate them?
I did, but I don't think it's really stuck. I don't. They weren't very appreciative of the 2D animation compared to the 3D with the random little pony pal aesthetic. You're not in this episode.
No one asked your opinion.
No
Kyle.
one asked your opinion. Yes, they're kids. I loved animation as a child.
All right, all right. Well, not everyone can have the same
I know. It's true.
love and attention.
It's fine. They can like it if they want to, but they at least saw it. I made sure of that.
But this episode is not about Spirit.
It is not.
It is about El Dorado.
Yeah.
How long had it been since you had
Not not very long. I mean,
yeah, you would watch it.
yeah, I feel like that's more in the ratings section, but it's one I reference on a regular basis. And when I reference it, it makes me want to watch it. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it had been so long since I had seen it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't watched it as an adult for sure. There's no way. I have no idea when it would have been the last time. But it is a movie I think about and like that I like.
Yeah.
And was really excited to get to watch. So yeah, it was fun to revisit. Some of the stuff was like exactly like I remembered it, and some of the stuff was like, oh, it's not what I remembered.
That's different.
It's different. I'm shocked that I watched this as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
Seriously, I think we've talked about before that we both were our parents were a little more protective in terms of what we watched and stuff, and I'm shocked we were allowed to watch this.
Yeah, there's a handful of movies I've watched as an adult that I was allowed to watch as a kid, and I just remember I'm just kind of surprised that I was allowed to watch them. This is one of them.
Like, clearly they weren't paying attention when we watched this one.
I don't know. Or they thought we were old enough. I don't know. Or my mom just liked it so much that she didn't care. I really don't know. Like,
but your mom is gonna, listen to this. Yeah. So comment below.
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking? And maybe you go watch it and you give us your
she loves Road to El Dorado, so I don't know. I'm thinking 2000 we would have been 8-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I had seen I'm trying to think what else I would have seen by 8 years old. I don't know. The Secret of Nim. Have you ever seen that one? I think we've talked about it before.
I mentioned that. No, I don't think I have. That's another Don Bluth, right?
Yeah. We'll add it to the list, but that's one of those that I'm like, you let me watch this? This movie's terrifying. It's a children's movie.
He's kind of known for darker.
Yeah.
Animated.
Well, that and we're crazy. I have a synopsis I pulled off of Google if you would want me to read it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so 2 con men get a hold of a map to the lost city of gold, El Dorado. After stowing away onto one of the ships of the Spanish explorer Cortez, the pair escape and eventually do find the city. There, a priest proclaims them to be gods in a scheme to win control of the city for himself. Meanwhile, they meet a beautiful girl who helps them in their ruse. This movie came out on March 31st in 2000. Almost 25 years ago. Directors, I don't really know. Bibo, I don't know how to say his name. Don Paul and Jeffrey Katzenberg. And it was distributed by Dreamworks Pictures and Universal Pictures. So Dreamworks it's Dreamworks SK something. D SKD.
I thought it was G.
SKG. So
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think it is. I always forget who the third person is, but it's Spielberg, Katzenberg, and another guy. Another dude.
Yeah, so El Dorado was their third movie behind Prince of Egypt and Ants. Did you ever see Ants?
I did. I don't remember liking it.
Well, it came out right around the time. I feel like this was the time, or maybe this is always the time, where the studios were making like the same movies one after the other. So they rushed Ants to get it out around the time of, or maybe before Bug's Life. And then this came out around the same time as Emperor's New Groove. So that was the same year.
Was it? I didn't realize that was the same year.
I did confirm it. Yeah, because as I started watching the movie, I was like...
The style's real similar. But Katzenberg would have left 94. So I've heard rumors that there was some insider information about Bug's Life, and that's why Ants got pushed.
Interesting.
So
I don't know if
I don't know if it's true, but I don't remember liking it. I don't. Yeah. Aesthetically speaking, I did not like the style. I know it was early days for CGI, but like compared to Bug's Life, where all the characters are like fun and kid friendly, and then you have these like brown ants. Just
Right. Because
kind of,
everyone loves ants.
yeah, just kind of
Bugs
yucky.
Life is one of my favorite Pixar movies. Like when I rank the Pixar movies, Bugs Life is at the top.
I would just watch that one recently. I don't remember when, but
It's one of my
I
favorites.
liked Dot a lot when I was a kid.
Hmm. Yeah. Did you had a Bugs Life birthday party
I did.
that
It
was
was,
epic.
yeah, it was my 8th birthday party.
That
Um,
was the last birthday party I went to.
yep.
Yeah.
My mom made us an
Oh,
ant hill by just
that
taping a
bad.
bunch of boxes together that went out into my bedrooms that we could crawl through. Um,
It was so cool. I don't
yeah.
remember anything else except for that tunnel. Uh, that tunnel to your bedroom.
Yeah.
That
I
was
think there
so
was a cake with Dot that mom tried to put together. I don't remember exactly, but it was a good time. So,
yeah.
anyways, this is not about Bug's Life.
What about Bugs Life?
um, one
What
of
movie are we
the
talking about?
one of the memories I have from Road to El Dorado is, so there was a time frame where movie theaters in California would have like a free movie during the summer,
Yes.
and
Yes, I was just talking to my mom about this.
I didn't really put two and two together until I was older, but most of those movies were Dreamworks. I don't think they ever did Disney, because I saw Road to El Dorado, and Titan AE, which that one wasn't. That was a Don Bluth movie. I don't Fox. So they would have been, yeah, Fox and DreamWorks films that were being shown on the big screen
You
again.
don't think Disney? You don't think they did Disney movies?
Absolutely
Isn't
not.
that how we saw the Lizzie McGuire movie, or did we actually go when it was in theaters?
We did go when it was in theaters. I don't think it was a free release. With Disney and how strict they are with, or strict they used to be with their movies, with like being in the vault, it was a big deal for a theatrical release. That
Yeah,
was
I guess that's.
not something they would let.
I guess it was more random movies. Like, yeah,
Less.
I don't have any specific memories of
Yeah.
ones we went to, but that was fun.
But yeah, so um I have we talked about, well, I asked you about the classic moments because we have that category for
Yeah, we
Disney,
have
and
a classic.
so I was like, how do we approach that with DreamWorks? But I guess with at least the early DreamWorks movies, it's
Well, my point was that. Well, what I guess my point now is that we are called the Mouse and the Goof. So, and Disney, I think you would agree with me, is the standard for
wow,
animated movies.
it was the
So,
standard.
true. But I think it'd be interesting to see, like, what do we think is a classic Disney moment? And even in some of the reading and watching that I was doing about this movie, there were definitely things that they were trying to
Oh yeah.
evoke that or Disney-ish. So, do you want to start with what your classic Disney moment is, or you want me to lead it?
Mine's real short.
Yep.
I feel like I say the same thing in every single classic moment, but they open with a song.
There you go.
In this case, they open with it's like a background song. So it's not like,
Like an overture?
yeah,
Is
it's,
that what you're...
well, no, it's not like
I
Encanto.
can't even remember what it
Yeah,
was.
it's a Elton John singing, and he's basically telling us about the city of gold. Like, he's telling us about El
Oh
Dorado.
yeah.
There's like kind of storybookish images flashing on screen, so we're getting context for what the story is going to be about. But it's not like Tulio's coming in and singing about who he is as a person. Like,
Yes.
it's not
Yeah.
like Belle opening the movie or
Right.
Encanto or whatever. It's the, like, hey, this movie is about El Dorado. Here's how it came
Yeah.
to be. Okay, we're moving
So
to the
that
next
when they
scene.
say, yeah, so that when they say, oh, it's a map to El Dorado, we
Yeah.
already know
Yeah.
what that is.
We're
Yeah.
not like, what?
I really liked that opening. I thought the animation was cool for that section. I had that as a note. My classic Disney moment is similar. It's about the music, and it's the fact that Elton John and Tim Rice did the songs. And trying to kind of evoke that Lion King
Mm-hmm.
magic, which I don't think was achieved.
Um,
I think catchy tunes, but
yeah.
uh, when we maybe save this for best song, but in my head, the music was better. Like my memory, the music was better than what it actually is.
Yeah.
But uh, yeah, when the like main song, the Rotel Dorado song started,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I thought this was better. Like, really,
Well,
uh, really the
I
same
I
hiatus.
also would add that Hans Zimmer did the
Yeah,
orchestration.
yeah, orchestration.
Um, I love his music, his
Yes.
whatever pieces. I don't know what the technical term is, but like it amazes me to go back and see. So when I realized who like I don't know, recognized who he was. It was during
Mhm.
the Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3 era
Yeah,
because I somebody else did the first soundtrack, but
yeah.
he's done all of them
Sorry,
since then.
helping baby.
You're good.
To our viewers who's like,
Yeah.
what's she
What
doing?
is happening?
Got a baby down here.
Yeah. Oh, so Pirates of the Caribbean 3 is one of my favorite soundtracks.
Yes.
But so now because I
Like,
listened to those soundtracks so much when I was growing up, um I can kind of recognize his style.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
and so like when I go back and I'm listening to these movies, I'm like, that's like he did Lion King, he did Dorado, he did
Mhm.
some Chicken Run, like
Oh, really?
yeah, not all of it, but like he's got his name is in the credit, and it's wild to me. It's like he's been with me my whole life, and I didn't know
Yeah,
it.
that's crazy.
But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and I love the soundtrack. The actual like musical like lyrical pieces are
Yeah.
they're fun. They're fun,
Well, and that's what I thought
but
too,
yeah.
especially like in the opening when they're in Spain still.
Hmm.
I loved the Spanish vibe to it, and I thought that was really well done. And it kind of ties into the more, new world
Hmm.
sound.
Yeah.
But then you get the Elton John songs, and it just kind of takes you out of the world
Yeah.
a little bit. I
It's the
it came across a little cheesy in
yeah.
my
It's
eyes.
the Phil Collins vibe. Except that Phil Collins is so drummy that
Yeah,
it
that it
works
worked.
better
Yeah.
than like random Elton John coming in and like I wonder why they didn't let the two dudes sing some of the songs, except that that's just not the vibe they were going for. Except then in the middle of
Yeah.
the movie they're like, here's a song the guys are singing, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, since we're talking about the music anyways,
Yeah.
what is the best song?
I have two for this one. I don't know, it might be just nostalgia, but I
Mhm.
like On the Trail We Blaze. I
Yeah.
just that
Yeah.
one's a bop. I could listen to
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
as just for fun. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's a fun song. And the other
Agreed.
one is Out of the Blue, which is like the only played in the credits.
Oh, okay.
So
Then
you're really not
I
gonna
think
know
of
what
it.
it is unless you pay attention to the credits. I just the vibe of that song is so pretty. It doesn't go with anything in the movie at all. Just kind of like some of the other songs in the movie that don't really like make sense. They're great.
Yeah.
There's just like, what does this have to do with what we're talking about or what's happening? But that song Out of the Blue on the DVD, the bonus features, they do that one with like a music video, and Elton
Oh,
John is animated. Like they
I
animate him.
saw I saw clips of that in a making of
Yeah.
thing that I watched.
So
And I was like, okay, animated Elton
yeah,
John.
it's
Hi.
weird. I like to see anybody animated, so like I was down, but it's just funny. I
Yeah.
like that one, and it's not
Great.
in the movie really.
Great.
What about you? What's your favorite song?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Trailblaze.
Yeah.
Like, that one's just a great sequence, and it feels the most appropriate um, use of the music. So
I
it's
will
good.
say I do also like It's Tough to Be a God. It's
Yeah.
goofy. It's goofy and upbeat, and I enjoy that one. But the other two or three songs, I think there's two. So there's the I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but there's a song that's singing while Miguel's walking around the city. I never felt like
Yeah.
that song really made sense for Miguel's experience, and maybe I just don't
Yeah.
understand the song. I guess the last song where they're like not talking to each other. That's another one that I was kind of
Oh, yeah.
like, it's a good song. I just don't know if it really vibes with what's happening.
Honestly, the songs were so, like, not memorable that even you talking about the songs, I can't. I mean, I've only watched it once in the last
Yeah.
15 years, but I can't picture what that song is.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I can pull up the It's Tough to Be a God and Blaze of Trail or whatever. Trailblaze.
Yeah.
What is it?
Trailblaze.
We're really in top form here on this show here with our my
We
post-pregnant
are
newborn.
not paid for this. We are here to talk and have fun. And
Oh, are you not getting paid, Jess?
I'm not. Are you
You
getting
didn't get your
paid?
check? Did they not send you your
Excuse
check?
me. No, I have not received a
Awkward.
check.
Awkward. Yeah,
Oh
no, of
man.
course not.
Are you getting sponsored on the side and you haven't shared it with me? This video
What
is
on earth would I
sponsored
be
by
sponsored
Raycon. Raycon, sponsor us. We won't use your
by? Yeah.
product.
Favorite character. Who is your favorite character?
Um,
Very curious as to what you say.
I have always been fond of Miguel.
Yeah.
He's goofy, and I'm drawn to goofy-ish characters.
Yeah.
He's spirited and like adventurous and wants to go do stuff. I will say I
I think the
really
movie wants us to root
yeah.
for Miguel.
Yeah, I think so. I would say as a person, I relate more to Tulio. You can never worry too much.
Yeah, I think of the two, I'm definitely more of a Tulio. Coming up with the plan, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. I'm not free-spirited like Miguel
Yeah.
is. But I love Chell
Yeah.
too.
She's
I
fun.
like how she comes in and she, like, from the very beginning, she knows that they're frauds.
Yeah.
But, like, she's gonna play to see how that can be advantageous to herself.
Right.
And yeah, I like her a lot.
Yeah.
And she was what I remembered her to be.
Yeah.
And a little more sexuality than I remembered, but
yeah.
I don't think I picked up on those cues back then.
Yeah. They toned her down. Did you know that?
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
They
I, like,
toned her down. And it's like, what did they tone down?
Right? I'm sure you already know this, but when I first looked up who were playing the like Tulio and Miguel, I'm like, oh, I don't know these people because I'm terrible with actors' names. You know that Tulio is played by the guy who plays Phoebus, right?
Yeah, Kevin Kline.
Of course you know that.
Yeah,
of course
Kevin Kline.
When I looked it up, I'm like, oh, I don't know this guy. I don't know anything he's in. And then I was like, wait, Jess will be so excited.
Yes, Kevin Kline. If he's in a movie, he's usually one of my favorite characters. Like great. You haven't seen it, have you? The live action Beauty and the Beast. Did you not? Did you watch that one?
I think I actually did.
Okay.
Watch.
Okay.
Memories.
He's the best part of that movie, and he's in it for about 5 minutes. He plays Belle's dad, and it's just the sweetest character. He sings a song to her. And that's the song I used for my dad and I when we danced at my
Oh.
wedding. And it's just a sweet, it's a sweet, real short song.
Yeah,
And that's his role in that movie is short and sweet, and he's the best part.
that's great.
If I
That's
watch the
great.
movie, it's because I want to see him in it. I love him.
Okay.
It always seems to get stuck here on the big hill.
And then the limbs come off.
So the other actor that I just wanted to point out, because I just think it's funny, and I know he does tons of voice acting, but Jim Cummings plays Cortez.
Yep. And
Voice
like,
of Winnie the Pooh.
Yep. And like 5 other characters in this movie.
Well, yeah, probably.
But I don't know. I've got it's almost a game now. Whenever we watch an animated movie and I hear Jim Cummings, I just yell his name. Jim Cummings. Even
That's
Kyle
great.
started to recognize it, and I don't think that was something he ever did before he married me.
I love it. I love it.
But also Kenneth, I don't know how to say his last name. Brannon, Kenneth Brannon, the guy that plays Miguel.
Yeah,
He's in Harry Potter. He's
that's the one credit I pulled out. Lockhart.
Yeah. He's in a lot of movies. One that I saw recently was Murder on the Orient Express.
I've wanted to see that. I have not seen that, but
and
he's been in a lot of like serious and like award-winning films.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of ones that I'm like, oh, I know that because it was nominated for
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm trying to think. There was another one he was in that I really liked. I'll think of it later. But yeah. But Murder on the Orient Express was good. Has nothing to do. I like him. He's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Armand Asante plays Tzekel-Kan. I don't really know what he's been in, but his name was, I'm pretty sure that name was in the Santa Claus. He's looking at his Christmas list, and the first person's name he reads is Armand Asante, and I don't know if that's like on
Why
purpose.
do you know that? Or did you look that up?
No, I just remember it.
It doesn't make any sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
Oh, he must be in the movie in some way.
I don't think he is. I don't know.
Did you go verify that?
Yes,
that
I'll
does
look.
not sound real. That sounds made up.
Armand Asante?
It's real.
It is. What do you mean? Is it real? Of course, it's real.
No, it sounds made up.
It's not made up.
Ridiculous.
Listen, I watched the Santa Claus multiple times during Christmas, and
I love that movie.
And have been since we were wee lasses. It's just one of those random bits that stuck in my head for no reason. Okay.
And so when you were looking at the cast for this movie and you saw that name, you were like, "Hey, that's from the Santa Claus."
Yeah.
So funny. Oh my god! So have you?
I don't even.
Well, now you. Okay. All right. This is too important to just let go. This is ridiculous. I do not understand why you just remembered that fact. You have that whole movie memorized?
I have a lot of it memorized. Anyways, voice actors are awesome and we like them.
That's a good place to get back to it. We didn't go on a 10-minute detour.
No, not at all. One of the cool things that, so I watched, and you may have watched it too, the bonus features from the DVD. I watched that. Okay, I watched that today.
I missed bonus features.
I know. Well, I just pulled it up on YouTube. I just Googled bonus features because I was like, I know those exist.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, the fun part about the voice acting for this movie is with Kevin and Kenneth, they actually recorded them both in the same studio, which isn't super common. Usually they'll put them in a room and let them go, but they worked really well off of each other, which I think is cool. And they're both classically trained actors, which is crazy. But Kevin Kline in one of the clips was talking about the characters, Tulio and Miguel, and kind of talking about how they bounce off of each other, because you have like the super like go with the flow, happy-go-lucky, adventure-seeking guy, and then you have the guy that needs to plan everything, and it's kind of the like, maybe, I don't know about Debbie Downer, but like he is thinking about, we need gold so that we can, like, you know, afford the things we want. How do we get that? And Kevin Kline goes, so then when you put us together, we form one entire half-wit.
I love that.
That was the 90s version of two people together make up one entire brain cell.
I love it. I love it. I feel like I read this somewhere that the main characters of this movie give sidekick energy.
Yep.
Which I think is very true.
Mm-hmm.
The next prompt I have on my list is, what could they do better?
Okay.
I'll lead this up.
All right.
One.
Kick it off.
And in the kind of behind the scenes making of the film that I watched, it talked a lot about how the tone of the movie changed a lot as they were creating it. Prince of Egypt was such a more serious movie, and I can't speak to Ants because I haven't seen it, but so there was some talk of this one, you know, they didn't want to make it serious, but then I don't know, just the tone changing a lot, and I feel like you can see that throughout the movie with the, you know, the villain is like one of the worst villains.
Yeah.
Like, dark. I do not like him. He is very dark. He's very creepy. You know, we already talked about Chell being like them needing to tone down her sexuality and stuff. Excuse me. And then like even the music being kind of like disjointed from like not totally fitting.
Yeah.
I feel like it just wasn't quite sure what kind of movie it wanted to be.
Yeah.
And they got to a good place, but that would be my, like, what could they do better? Is I think if they had a clearer vision of what the tone was going to be, like, I think if they really just did embrace that it was going to be like this funny animated movie, like, make it a little like more cohesive.
Yeah, I
but
think
I never made a movie, so what do I know?
So one of the things I read and they talked about on that video that I was watching was that because originally the movie was supposed to come out in 1999, but Katzenberg came back after Prince of Egypt was in production, or after it finished, I don't remember, and was like, we need to make this more of a comedy and less of a serious movie. And so the title of the movie, the working title, was El Dorado, the Lost City on Hold, because they kept having to pause to do rewrites. Because it just, I don't know a thing about Katzenberg except from the little snippets I've heard from various videos I've seen. It sounds like he was a difficult person to work for.
As many executives and men of power are.
You know, I'm neither of those things, so I have no idea. But the man went in and he took scissors to a film reel from the Black Cauldron and started cutting stuff out because he didn't like how it was edited. That's crazy. That is not how you handle animated films. Anyways, but it's probably really similar to what was happening in Road El Dorado. It's like, and honestly, during this same time period, The Emperor's New Groove was going through the same thing. Right. Yeah. And he wasn't involved in that at all. But I don't know if it was a cultural thing for that to be happening. Like, oh, we need to have a buddy movie that's funny. We can't do serious movies. I don't know why that tone shift came. But at one point, they were like, hey, we're going to make this animated feature that is a PG-13 film. Like, that was what they were originally shooting for. And then Katzenberg came over and was like, hey, we need to make this so the kids can watch it too. So the Shell got toned down. The romance between Shell and Tulio got toned way down, which is something.
That's a kind of scene.
And yeah, I can see how all of that would make the movie a little bit less cohesive at the end of the day. Because, and I watched I think I've sent you him before, but Nostalgia Critic, he's just...
That's what I watched.
Okay.
I watched it too.
I watched that this afternoon, and he was talking about how, like,
toning it down
how the animation doesn't really fit with the story, I guess. So it's beautiful. He comments on that. He's like, the animation for this movie is gorgeous, but they're wanting this goofy slapstick something.
I thought this was so interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, and we should link this video.
Yeah. Here you go, Nostalgia Critic. The 3 people that watch it.
Shut up. That's what you do with YouTube videos. You link people.
I know.
I'm trying to be above board here.
I know, I'm just teasing. But he talks about,
once we have our 1 million followers and they're going back to the beginning,
of course,
we need to send those people.
Of course. We want to credit where credit's due. But, you know, the animation probably needed to be a little more zany, and it was a lot more elegant and realistic. So even the movements the characters make are a little more realistic, and it, for some people, that might make it feel weird. I've never had a problem with it, but part of that's because I grew up watching it. I can see it now that it's been pointed out to me, but I just love the animation so much I don't care. But
right.
But one of the things I kind of thought about for what they could do better, and honestly, this is a time problem, because it's an animated film, so we don't get all that much time. But I kind of struggled to believe that Shell would go after Tulio right off the bat. Yeah. Because, and this might be from Jess's perspective, because I've always liked Miguel as a character more, because Tulio is such a stick in the mud.
Right, so why is she
going for him unless it was a grift, which is what they've been doing. So if it started off as a grift and then grew into a romance, that would make more sense to me. Like, she's just using him to get... Which is kind of how it's supposed to be. It kind of starts that way, but they just don't spend enough time on it to really... It's just like, oh, they're using each other. Oh, now they're together.
Well, and as... You know, it had been so long since I'd seen the movie, and I remembered there was a romance aspect.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember who she ended up with. And part of me was like, again, not remembering the movie, was... I remember there is a rift between Tulio and Miguel. I was like, does Chell come between them? Like, is one of them attracted to it and she goes with the other? Like, I really thought that happened.
Yeah.
And because I just assumed, like, no, she's got to have something with Miguel. But yeah, it did seem very odd that she just, like, randomly chose Tulio.
Yeah. The uptight... like like wants to be super careful character, which again, like that relationship can work. We just didn't get a whole lot of time for it to build. And
especially because the movie seems to be guiding us to sympathize with Miguel more. It's odd that the romance is with the other guy. Yeah, that's a good call out. What is the best scene in your mind?
Oh, I love so many scenes from this movie. I think I have best scenes and then I have honorable mentions.
Oh, go for it.
So it's so early in the film, but I think one of my very favorite bits is the scene, the fake sword fighting scene at the very beginning. Just the wit between the two of them, and then the swords clashing, like, you fight like my sister. I fought your sister. That's a compliment. Like all that crap.
Yeah.
Like it's so good. My cousins and I quote it all the time. It's just
That's so funny.
it's one of those. It's so funny because like I feel like as far as quotes go, I feel like I quote more like not Disney movies than actual Disney movies. And it's weird. I don't know why. It's DreamWorks films, Chicken Run, Space Jam, like not Disney films. Disney has great movies. There's just, I think one of my very favorite ones would be the LeFou. I think I've been thinking it's a dangerous pastime. I know, like that's probably the most quoted Disney film that I have.
Yeah.
But anyways, my honorable mentions: the stars are not in position for this tribute. Like you said, stars can't do it. Not today.
Yeah.
In the spirit world, we say there's your plan and there's the God's plan.
You stole mine.
Sorry.
I like that whole scene. I like that whole kind of that's I guess they're separate scenes. I like that scene a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's great. But yes, I had that line written down and you stole it.
Sorry.
I'm gonna jump in before you before you swipe my other one. The other scene that I really like, just from a story perspective and character development, is when he's talking to the chief when Miguel is talking to the chief on the boat.
Yep.
And I'm sure I didn't pick this up when I was a kid watching it. I didn't realize that the chief definitely knew.
Oh yeah.
That they were not.
Yeah.
And I mean, because you see the chief being like not all that into it from the beginning, but I just thought it was like, oh, he's a kind soul, and the villain he doesn't like all the villain stuff. But I think from the very beginning he knew that they were frauds.
Yeah.
But he didn't care and still embraced them and stuff. And so I like that scene with Miguel.
Yeah.
A lot.
It's I like the reflectiveness. So there's a scene where Miguel says to err is human, to forgive is divine, is what he's going to say.
Yes.
And I forget exactly when that happens. I'm thinking of a bajillion different parts. But then in that scene with the boat, when the chief and Miguel are talking, the chief says to him, to err is human, after Miguel has apologized. And Miguel's like...
I know. I sat up and I was like, oh, yes, he knows.
He knows. I like the chief. He's so chill. He's just
so cute.
Smile like you mean it.
Yeah, he's great. He is great.
I think another scene that I didn't...
Any more honorable mentions?
Yeah, another scene, I actually didn't write this one down, but I really like the scene where they confront Tzekel-Kan when he's trying to do more human sacrifices, and Miguel's just like, these people are, you need to get out. Like, he does that whole speech. It's just it's oddly powerful, and I like it a lot. And then when he sees the blood dripping down Miguel's face, and he's like,
oh, good.
Gods don't bleed, which is honestly one of the earlier animated films I remember there being blood in.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that.
I guess Atlantis did, but that was after too. So I don't know. I guess and Mulan, I guess, but not really because she's got the bandage. There's no blood on the sword.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Anyways, but yeah, so those are mine.
We have worst scene. What is that for you? I think they spend too much time on the ship and in the ocean. Like, I wish they would have gotten to El Dorado faster.
Okay, so you have a pacing issue.
I have a pacing issue.
Okay.
Because the movie was short. Like, it got to the end and I was like, oh,
it's over.
It's over quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like they spent too much time in the ocean.
Okay. You didn't like the Jaws scene with the
I thought it was
shark.
clever. Yeah, once I knew Steven Spielberg was involved, I was like, ha, ha.
I get it. Hee hee.
Joke.
Joke.
Yeah, small stupid thing, but just
Yeah.
as I think about it, I'm like, they spent too much time on the ship.
There's some movies where those traveling montages work really well. Atlantis, I feel like, is one of them because they're just going so far. And I think the music helps because it's a montage, whereas the traveling between the boat and the island or whatever, it's kind of chopped up. So they're showing us the passage of time, but it doesn't feel super like together. Because 1 minute they're in a like hurricane and the next they're just floating there and
and honestly it doesn't, like, they still got to the island and I'm like, oh, it didn't take them that long to get to the new world. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it works for a kid. Just because I'm talking about them arriving to the island.
Yeah.
When Cortez arrives to the island and the footprints are still there.
Yeah.
How long do footprints last in the sand?
Yeah.
Am I overthinking this movie? But I saw that and I was like, no, that does not work.
It's 3 days, right?
Who knows? But tides go in and out.
We do have a time frame because it takes 3 days. It takes 3 days for them to build that boat.
Yes.
So let's say on day, so maybe they've been there like 5 days, maybe 4 days tops. Like if they asked the day they got there about the boat. But yeah.
Even 2 days. Even if Cortez got there 2 days after them, the footprints would not be there. You have wind. You've already shown that there's weather.
Yeah.
You have wind. You have high tides.
Yeah. Maybe if it's a certain kind of sand that has a more clay-ish quality, but I'm not a geologist.
We are not. I was going to say we are not geologists here on this on the show.
I took two geology classes in college.
You took 2. I took 1.
Yeah, they made
it
me
was
take
online.
2.
It was online, and when I bought my supplies for the class, like I had to buy like a
rock.
Supplies. I got a box full of rocks. And sand. They were like bags of sand and rocks and a magnifying glass.
All right, there you go.
It's very cool.
I actually liked it.
It came with my textbook.
It made me never want to go back to California though. After I learned about
learning about earthquakes.
Yeah. My least favorite scene. I really think their dumb little fight because of Shell. And I say Miguel's kind of the problem in that scene. So, yes, they agreed that they weren't going to date Shell at the beginning of the movie or go after her at the beginning of the movie, right? So then Miguel feels betrayed because he hears Tulio say, forget Miguel. But I feel like if they've been friends long enough, that shouldn't really have been a problem. Because apparently Miguel slided Tulio with some girl in Barcelona, and that didn't cause a problem for them. I don't know. That whole bit just feels, and I think some of it's because Miguel doesn't want to leave, and so he's upset that Tulio's making him leave. And there's just I don't like lack of communication. It's in film, and I know they use it for its storytelling. I get it, but it's annoying. And then they're just really petty towards each other because Tulio doesn't understand. Like, he has no idea what's wrong with Miguel. Miguel's not. Yeah. Miguel's acting like a girl and not telling Tulio what his problem is. Right. And that just annoys the crap out of me. But I do like that even when they're being petty and not talking to each other properly, they still are able to fight Tzekel-Kan.
Yes. Yeah, where they know they're doing a bit, but also there's more truth to the bit. But
they're not doing a bit.
Right.
Yeah.
Love it. I think that's good. Do you want to talk more about the animation style?
Yeah, sure. I didn't do nearly as much as I have in some other videos we've done, but there was that.
It really was a beautiful movie.
It is. It's so pretty. The little bonus feature I watched said that there were 485 artists from more than 30 countries that worked 4.5 years on this movie.
Wow.
Back when they like took their time to make things nice. Let's see. The animation team visited South America and went and saw the stuff in person and sketched things, and really wanted to make sure they made the colors a big deal because, you know, that makes things look really nice. It's a mixture of the traditional hand-drawn animation and the computer animation. So there's actually a handful of characters that are completely 3D, but they look really good, and they're further away, so they're all like background characters. So if I may actually put these together, if you go back and look at Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was 4 years before this movie, at their CGI background characters, and then compared them to the CGI background characters in this movie, they made a great deal of progress. They actually look like people now.
That's good.
The effects team had to create a new software that allowed them to animate water, because animating water is apparently the worst. So what they did was they would draw frames of the water and then plug it into this program that turns it into like particle effects, and then they would just multiply those particle effects until they had water that looked really good.
Okay.
And they had to do this for that scene where they crash the boat into the gate. Like, that whole section has its own name and how they animated it. It's kind of crazy. They also created a technique that allowed them to accurately render the color spectrum of gold. Because before this movie, gold didn't look super great when it was painted or animated. It's hard to capture the shine of gold. It's weird. It is weird. I had never really thought about it, but like watching the movie and just looking at the gold, it's so shiny, and it just looks so pretty. And it really wasn't. I mean, like, think about Phoebus's armor. That's technically gold, but it's
it
yellow.
Just looks yellow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Let's see. This one's fun. Unlike everyone else in the movie, Tzekel-Kan had his teeth individually carved out instead of just a white line because it made him look more lifelike and thus more intimidating.
I don't like him. Don't like him at all. The moment he came on screen, I was like,
see, ugh. I think he's a fantastic villain. He's
certainly villainous.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not rooting for him.
Dark.
He is.
And then he takes that bite of the rat.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's dark. It's a dark kids film. We need more of those.
It's funny how excited he gets during that scene.
Yes.
When he like thinks that he's connecting with Tulio, and at the end he says something to
he's just unhinged. And that's what makes him great. Because he's unhinged enough to be kind of crazy, but enough to also be sane. He is what Jafar could have been, I think. Because Jafar isn't quite unhinged enough. He's almost there, but he's a Disney villain, so he can't quite go as far. Because I would say probably the darkest Disney villain. Okay, let's pull Black Cauldron out of the mix. We're not going to talk about that one. But probably one of the darker Disney villains is going to be like Ratigan or Professor Facilier from Princess and the Frog. Because
Ratigan is throwing me off while you're saying Ratigan, so say more.
Okay, so Ratigan, just because, I mean, I'm thinking specifically.
I love him as a red villain.
Specifically when he and Basil are fighting in the clock tower.
Oh, yeah.
He is savage. Like,
yeah.
that's
Scary.
where I'm going with him on that. But just as far as the darkness goes, and so let's because he doesn't have like magic or anything, we'll take him out of the pile. But so you've got like Dr. Facilier, who's a voodoo whatever, and then you have Tzekel-Kan. I mean, they're both pretty creepy, but Tzekel-Kan has that unhinged, crazy, but also like crazy, but like he's so crazy he doesn't realize he's crazy. That's what's scary. Facilier is pretty aware of himself. Like he knows who he is, he knows what he's doing. But Tzekel-Kan's just like, I'm going to help make the thing. He's fanatical. That's what he is.
Right.
That's what's scary. Yeah. That's what's scary about him. He's like, Anyways, I need to stop comparing him to Disney characters. But like,
I think that's what we're supposed to do.
I'm not saying I would ever want to meet the guy. I'm just saying he makes a really good villain, and
he is a good villain.
Yeah.
He's a scary villain.
He's a scary villain.
I go back to the comment I made of, I'm surprised we were allowed to watch this.
Oh yeah. Well, so you remember my wait what moments? So a couple of the ones I have a couple, but the sexual overtones of this movie are crazy.
Oh my gosh. I was like, literally,
or
they're
undertones.
Like,
I don't know undertones or overtones.
They're not even subtle.
Yeah.
They're like literally caught in the act.
Yeah. So they're caught in the act. There's the whole like naked butt scene in the jungle when they're hanging out. I remember that being the part that like, whoa, naked
because you probably didn't know what the other thing was.
Nope. I think I was an adult.
I know now.
Yeah. And then the other one, I wrote cursing in my kids' film because Tulio says hell twice.
Oh.
As a child, I was like, whoa, that's aggressive. Oh, I wasn't allowed to say dang it until I was like 12. So, like,
I didn't even.
My other favorite one is when Tzekel-Kan when he comes out and he says, we're gonna show everybody the truth of your divinity, and he uses air quotes. I'm like, wait, what? Why does he know what air quotes are? Did he invent air quotes? Oh, I did have like this is a side note that was on Wikipedia. So one of the original, I may edit this and put it somewhere else, but one of the original concepts for this story was based off of a book that I won't be able to pronounce the name of, but the animation was supposed to be set during the Age of Discovery, which is when they're finding the new world kind of stuff. But the original like story treatment was inspired by a movie or film series that starred Bob Hope and Bing Crosby called Road to, and it's like Road to, Alaska or whatever. I don't know. I've never seen any of them. But
go watch the Nostalgia Critic, because he's a true YouTuber who actually does solid research on these things. Yeah. He
and his brother or someone else are script writers, so they actually spend time doing this. We just look it up on Wikipedia.
we watch their videos, read stuff on Wikipedia, and then half remember the things that we saw and read.
Exactly.
And are like, yeah, I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
We're real casual here. I think he's getting paid. But
maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, that was really interesting to me, and I thought about looking up some videos to see it, but we're not paid for this, so I didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really funny, and loved the idea of like if there had been sequels to this movie, and seeing more of Tulio and Miguel and learning more about them and their relationship, going to different places could have been really fun. I don't know how that would have worked.
It seems like all of my favorite animated films came out in the era where they decided they just weren't going to do sequels anymore. Meanwhile, we get all these sequels for movies I never wanted sequels for, like Hunchback of Notre Dame and Pocahontas. Not that I enjoyed them, but I much rather would have had sequels to Atlantis, Road to El Dorado, Treasure Planet. All of these are like 2000s films that were just like, never mind, we don't want to spend money on that. Like, you had all those stupid direct DVD movies from like 94 to
Atlantis
whatever.
did have a sequel.
Barely. And it doesn't even make sense because it's a bunch of episodes scraped together from what they had already finished before somebody called the kibosh on it. It's messy. Anyways.
Oh, speaking of which, I haven't seen Moana 2 yet. Should we do that movie?
I haven't seen it either. Is it out?
It's a new Disney. I assume it's on Disney Plus, but it's a new Disney movie. Okay. It'd be great to crap on it. I was going to use a different word, but I didn't know if we swear on this podcast, on this channel. But I bring it up because I have heard that is what Moana 2 originally was supposed to be, a TV show, and then the story came together. Yeah. I'm very curious. I have not seen it. I have not really seen reviews on it.
I've seen a handful.
Or people talking about it. But that may be because I've been in the baby bubble.
I've seen a handful of reviews. They're not inspiring. It doesn't sound inspiring from what I'm hearing, but I'm down to watch it. I don't know if it's out.
I feel like we'd be able to comment on it. So let's check and see if it's out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Because you know what movie we haven't mentioned this whole show, which I really think just speaks to how
much we've matured in 3 months.
Oh, I was gonna say just how bad our show has gotten.
We didn't bring up Wish.
We didn't bring up Wish once.
I almost did. And then I swerved away from it because I thought, nah. You know what movie?
Why would you turn the back on the essence of our show?
You know what movie?
Which is really just to crap on Wish.
What we need to do is we need to go watch Snow White when it comes out.
Don't make me do it. I did have a thought when we were talking about Beauty and the Beast.
Just so we can crap on it.
Oh, I did think we should do one of the live action. We do get so fired up when we hate a movie.
We do. It's so much fun. I think I prefer the passionate, like, happy part where we talk about movies like Road to El Dorado, but, you know, I get it. It's more fun when Jess gets on. Jess unhinged is the thing people want to see.
That's what our audience wants.
If you want to see
Jess, and comment below.
Yeah, like and comment below. Like and comment below if you want to make me try and watch A Wrinkle in Time and just see me go off.
Oh, I've never watched that
I haven't either. I haven't watched it. I can't watch it. No. Oh. It looks terrible. I'm not going to do it. I will go off. I do. I love the book.
Your favorite. I don't know why I said pastime. Pastime. Was there a movie version that they had?
Yeah. So they made one, like a ABC TV one. It was terrible too.
Oh, okay.
But this one was more terrible because of lots of reasons.
You love that book.
I do love that book. I used to say I would grow up and make it into a film. Probably won't.
You could still.
Maybe.
We should watch that too. Okay, but we should for sure do Snow White when it comes out because it's going to be so awful and it's totally in line and we'll be able to like crap on Wish more.
Yeah. So. I'd love to crap on Wish more with you. Last thing.
Yeah.
Sad. This is a little sad. We'll bring it back down for El Dorado, but this movie did not earn a profit at the box office. It
That is sad.
Basically,
I'm so sorry to the people
it,
who worked on
it
it.
basically bombed, but it
Uh,
later received a cult following, which is what a lot of
as
these
so many things do.
2000s films have done. And I think it's because the generation that was in charge of the finances didn't support the movie enough. And now all the millennials that grew up on it.
Well, and nostalgia is a powerful thing.
Yeah. I was thinking about nostalgia earlier today as just a general concept. I don't think there's anything that's come out within the last 10 years that I would feel nostalgic about. Just in general.
Tangled? Oh, Tangled wasn't in the last 10 years. Oh gosh, we're so old.
Yep. Because there's
I'm
nothing
a mom
that
of 3. I'm a mom of 3.
Yeah.
I'm so
we are. I'm a couple of weeks away from being 33 years old, dating this video. But
oh, that's right. I love that you get older before I do.
I used to love it. It used to be a special thing for me. It's not anymore. Now it's
Now every March I get to be like, oh no, that's the age I'm gonna be in a couple months.
Yeah, you and Andrew, both of you are terrible. But we love this. Well, I mean, I love this movie. I watch it often. I quote it more often. If I'm gonna give it a rating, why don't you read off our ratings?
Let's go through the rating. Yeah, so lowest rating would be a one-time watch. A little better than that is, I mean, I won't turn off the TV if it's on. Right in the middle is, it's a lovely background movie. Above that is, watching once a year is not enough, but that's all the time I have because I'm an adult with a job. Or the top rating, which is, my kids will love this movie whether they like it or not. Jessica, where do you rate this?
I mean, I'd give it an A. I would watch it. My kids are gonna like it whether they want to or not. I may wait till they're a little bit older than 8 years old.
My preteens will like this movie.
Yeah, my preteens will enjoy this. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, I don't know if I can give up watching these films just because my kid's so like young, you know? I struggle with that because I'm like, I want to watch Lord of the Rings, but I don't want my kid to be like afraid of it, but I'm afraid if I don't introduce my kid to it, he'll be afraid of it. It's a catch-22.
Before my oldest son was born, I was like, we need to be mindful about not watching as much TV once he's here, and we need to not watch things that we don't want to fill his head with. And now it's like, yeah, no, we're gonna watch TV. We're tired. So my rating, I would give a lovely background movie, which I feel like our ratings, like, they're kind of far apart. Like, there's a big difference between lovely background movie and like watching once a year isn't enough. But yeah, I like this movie. If someone was like, let's watch El Dorado, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's fun. So yeah, I like it a lot.
We'll have to.
It met my expectations and what I remembered of it.
Excellent.
In a
I think we need to do another poll down the road on more non-Disney films. There's a lot of really good movies out there that aren't Disney.
For sure. Well, and it was funny when we put together the list, because we said 2000s, and then I was like, wait, there's some movies on here like that aren't on here that I wanted to be in the mix. Like, I think we talked about Anastasia, Thumbelina. Oh, it's been so long since I looked at it.
I want to do Chicken Run.
Chicken Run is in the 2000s. Prince of Egypt.
Yep.
Is earlier. So, yeah, maybe the next poll we can do is before the 2000s.
I feel like if we do Prince of Egypt, it's gonna need some extra work on somebody's part. Probably mine, because I enjoy that chapter of the Bible.
Oh, biblical.
Just some.
Um,
I know too many people that are biblical like experts that aren't huge fans of the Prince of Egypt, and I feel like I
oh,
would
really?
need. It's beautiful, but it is not biblically accurate in a lot
Yeah, I
of
don't think.
ways. So I may
I don't
come.
think
I
that's the
may
goal.
slide in a few things. Just just.
Be good. So yeah, I like doing the poll, and especially because we can tell our viewers who have been like, "Where are they? Did they give up on their endeavor?" No, we didn't give up.
We are
We just
still
had
here.
my life was just falling apart, people, and I was carrying twins. Oh,
But you made it.
rough.
You made it.
I made
And
it,
you
and now
have
my life is so much
two
easier.
new beautiful babies.
Me too, and my life is so much easier now as a mom of 3.
I'm surprised you can go anywhere. I honestly feel like I have a hard time getting out the door with one. And that's just a
We have to.
that's just a motivational thing. I just like, I don't really feel like putting clothes on today. Can I just stay in the house?
Yeah,
But
it's hard, but we do it.
yeah.
Because we have to keep living.
Yes,
So.
of course.
All right. Well, it has been so great being back with you.
Yeah.
And thank you to all our viewers for being patient.
Thanks for
and,
hanging in there.
Yeah, let us know what you want to see us ramble on about next.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.